Great question, Courtney. So for those of you watching the recording, the question was, do you have to attend this? There's always confusion about the online courses, you know, are there live sessions or not? It's a mess. Part of the problem is it's buried in like the additional information when you register, and if you don't look down there and it says live sessions, it gets lost. So the answer is you don't ever have to attend these. I do record them.
Okay.
I messed up the first recording. Actually, I found where it is. I just have to get it converted and then uploaded. What I'm going to do is upload the recordings to a YouTube playlist on my YouTube channel. I'm super popular, and just put a link right at the top of the Canvas page to the recordings.
Okay, then that's great. Yeah, because I was like, oh my God, I missed my first class and I was really terrified. I don't want to get withdrawn. So I just showed up today to ask a question because I actually got to go to work. So I wanted to stop in real quick and just see if I had to be here.
You're so good, Courtney. Please go to work. Yes, that's more important. Yes, and I'm here to help everyone. I have tutoring hours from 8:30 to 11 Mondays through Thursday mornings that people can drop in. Like if you can't make it and you saw something in the video that makes no sense or things are just going crazy, come show up to that, send me an email. I got caught up with emails this morning. I think if you sent me an email and I didn't respond to you, if you could just do me a favor and send it again, I will make sure I respond to you. It took me like an hour this morning to respond to everyone because I hadn't gotten to it. Other questions?
I have a question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm not completely understanding exactly what ALEX is. Is that like something that we work on our own pace and we all come together at the end, or is that just like a work on our own kind of a thing?
Such a great question. So ALEX is like this crazy mess right now. So first off, if you're in the 130 I3 section, this is your access code to ALEX. And if you're in the 130 I4 section, wait for it, this is your access code. And there's like 10 or 15 people that had the wrong access code because I gave them the wrong access code. And so there's a bunch of you that are in another instructor's course, ALEX course. And then there's some of you that are in the wrong course between my two courses, and it's like just a crazy mess. And it's 100% all my fault. So I feel wonderful about it. We're going to sort all that out. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and see who needs to go where and get it all sorted out. I'm going to do that hopefully this weekend since we all have extra time. But an answer to your question. Let me first pull up what you all see when you get in. And we'll talk through that because it's a great question and it's often super confusing. So first, ALEX is more or less on your, it is 100% on your own, and it's going to look different for each student. So it's individualized to you. Like I said last time, I think you'll have this little tutorial to get you comfortable with how to enter answers. It's worth working through. I'm just skipping. Yay, I did it. And then you're going to have what's called a knowledge check, which is the diagnostic check. This is going to, think of it as a test, and it's testing what you know and what you don't know. And based on how you perform on this knowledge check, it will determine what homework you need to work on. So let me just give you a quick preview of it. Everyone will have slightly different questions. Oh my goodness. So here's one. It says estimate this number by subtracting, rounding each number to the nearest thousandths. Great. I don't know that one, so I'm going to go to the next one. What that's going to do is it's going to assign me a set of homework, a set of questions that teach you how to work through that question, which is why you want to try to answer the questions. Here we're estimating the number of CDs in 2020. Yikes. This is Really? Only 600? Is that in thousands? I'm just going to let you all know this is like a terrible graph. So I'm going to say 500 CDs were sold, and now I'm going to submit that question. And it's okay that, oh. Anyways, so you'll run through that. I think there might be like 50 questions. It's a little bit long. It's kind of, it will cover the breadth of this course and maybe a little extra. So I'm going to pretend I had moderate knowledge, meaning I sort of know it and I sort of don't, blah, blah, blah. Once you're done, this is what you'll get. So notice it says I mastered 91 of the topics. Hooray for me. That means I'm 55% done with the work, the homework online. So you, by the end of the semester, you need to have completed 165 topics. You go at your own pace. I think I have some deadlines in here, or some suggested deadlines to help you keep on track. If I don't, what I'm going to do is like at the end of the first quarter, so after the first 4 weeks, or wait, how many weeks do we? This is a 16-week course. Yeah, so after the first 4 weeks, I'll say you should have a fourth of these 165 topics. So by the end of week 4, you should have mastered 41 topics. So if you're like me and you're like, oh, I've done 91, hey, I don't have to do anything for the first 4 weeks. Don't do that. Just work through it and get it done if you can. So when I click on one of these, this is the type of topics that you're learning. And let's see, let me get to what that looks like. So there's a path that you can follow. And if you start it, it gives you the questions to work on. And this is called adaptive learning technology. So the types of problems that are presented to you are all linked together, and there are ones that you're supposed to learn first before you learn the next ones. So it guides you through what it thinks you need based on how you performed on the exam, on that diagnostic test.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
I think so. So basically we have to complete everything in order to complete the course, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have it done for class.
Correct. There's no,
Okay.
there really aren't any deadlines on this one other than December 20 something. You need all 165. And then how I'll do your grade is when December 20, when the semester ends, let's say you completed 100 of the topics, you mastered 100 of them. That would be 100 divided by 165. This would, you'd have a 60.6% as your grade for your ALEKS homework. Notice that what they do here, these are the questions you're about to answer. Here's an explanation of how to answer the questions. You can get another explanation. We have different explanations. Then you click start. And what you have to do to master it is you have to answer 4 questions correct in a row, which can get a little frustrating because if you get 2 correct and then you get it wrong, it makes you start over. So, you know, get ready. It's super fun. Any other questions about ALEKS that anyone has while I got it pulled up? Awesome. Okay, let me mention another thing while we're all here together and we're recording this. I think I sent out a little recorded video of myself last night. I don't know if you all saw that. I hope those are kind of helpful. I may do that from time to time, and noted that I had created a link to the tutoring hours. This is that link. When you click it, it goes to my tutoring hours on Zoom, my virtual tutoring hours. Those are available. Boy, I should just state that in here, shouldn't I? 8 to 11:30, Mondays through Wednesdays, or Mondays through Thursdays. 8, did I say 8? 8:30, because I got to drop my kids off at school. So it's available all 4 days virtually, and then in person you can show up at my office on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which my office is McDivitt 253, but I don't actually expect too many of you to do that because there's a reason you're taking online courses, right? What else? Oh, I'm going to add here a module that's going to say something like YouTube videos, recorded videos, recorded live sessions. And what this will do is there'll be a link here and it will take you, of course it came down to the bottom, it will take you to a YouTube channel where I'm going to post, I think maybe I said that already, where I'm going to post the recorded videos. It takes a little while. So this, I just completed a 2-hour class before this, and this is still converting that meeting. I did find the recording from Monday, and I will do this to it and then upload both so that anyone who missed Monday can watch that. So that's that. Okay, other questions? Well, that's the stats class. Don't look at that. Oh, one other thing here is we talked about due dates being Sundays. So none of these due dates are correct in here for the lesson checks and the worksheets. I need to change all those. That's on my to-do list between today and tomorrow. Hopefully I can get that done. So don't freak out about the due dates. The other thing is I had at least one student tell me that they needed to resubmit an assignment, and I need to make it possible so that you can do that, which requires me to click every single link and do what I'm about to do. So that'll take me a little bit of time, but I'm going to make it so that if you do an accidental submission, no worries, just resubmit. And we'll get that all for the worksheets. Oh, hooray, that recording is done. All right, so let's then pick up where we left off on Monday, and that was Unit 1.1. We'd gotten halfway through. Does anyone need any help with percents? This is where we had left off, or where we had started. So I think from what I recall, we had only accomplished figuring out percent conversions, and we hadn't gotten to percent increase and decrease. You all correct me if I'm wrong. So my world is like all blurred together because I'm teaching an in-person version of this, and that was yesterday, so it's my most recent memory, and it was a blast. But I don't know what I told you and what I told them and what I told my stats class. I don't remember much. I want to think we got through all of this and that we were ready to do these problems. So I'm going to break you into groups again. Let's see, how many people do we have? Okay, good. We got, what was that? 2 groups of 3, 1 group of 4 is what we're going to do. And what I'm going to ask you to do, there's an example problem here to look through. There's some text here that would be good to read. And then you're going to do questions 8 and 9 if you haven't already in your textbook. And then 1 through we'll see how it goes. 1 through 9 on the second set. So maybe I should type that in the chat, and I need my textbook so I can know what pages those are. And I don't have my textbook to tell you what pages those are. I am sorry. Everyone clear on the questions I want you to work on? Okay. I am going to assume everyone's good. I'm going to create these breakout rooms. And I'm going to assign you to them. I wanted to automatically assign them. Come on. Oh, let's do that. Okay, so I got 2 groups of 4 that works out great. This is the part where I can't record anymore, so I'm sorry. No worries, Latoya. What we're doing is we're working on I think questions 8 and 9 here. And I don't know the page numbers right off the top of my head. So I think I took my book to my office and didn't bring it home. And then, so questions 8 and 9 from the first section. And then there's like another starting point where it says 1-1 group work. So the group section, page 10, awesome. Catherine, I really appreciate that. So page 10, 8 to 9, and then the group sections numbers 1 through 9.
Was there a link to this somewhere?
Yes. So in your Canvas shell, you could open. Where are you, friend? I had this. Am I in the right class? Yes, I am. Well, and the I3, I had it uploaded.
Was that the Becky?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's now, if it's not in the I4 course shell, if that's the one you're in, it should be there now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to send you off to, I'm going to open up these rooms. I will be in and out helping and answering questions and seeing how things are progressing. Then we'll come back as a group and talk about what you learned. Don't forget that Desmos is your friend. Please use it all the time. What I mean by that is this graphing calculator. Don't feel like you need to do anything by hand. All right, go nuts. Zoom record. Here we go. Let me pull up that 1-1 worksheet. Okay, so we're going to start with a question on the 1-1 worksheet, which is great. And then we'll go back and I want to summarize a few of the things that should go in your reference sheet from 1-1 and also make sure we're all feeling good about everything. So Jennifer, go ahead.
I just need to know what it means by interpret the percent change in the context of the situation.
Yes.
Like, are we trying to figure out how the percentage it's changed per year?
So this question you're going to see 5,000 times. It's an exaggeration. Interpret the blank in the context of the situation. It's like one of my favorite questions. And what that means is up here, you calculated a number.
Yeah.
So percent change. Tell me what that number is based on this context. What does it mean? And I'm going to give you a very formulaic sentence that will always get you the correct answer. And then if you like creativity, you can say it slightly different. So let me come back to that. That's a
Right.
great question. In all of this, was anyone, well, I want to make sure, especially on the recording here, for those that aren't able to attend, I want to make sure we look at question 7. Did everyone get that 1070 price as the original price? I know the one group I saw got it. I don't know if the other group got that.
No, that's not the price I got.
Okay.
I don't think. Are we still on the worksheet or?
I'm sorry, this is the textbook. This is page, you know what, I can look in, I have the ebook version from Alex open, so I can now give you page numbers. This is not there. Oh, maybe, where is it? Where is this question?
Is it the
I
one
have
about the
it's on-
refrigerator?
Well,
Yeah, the refrigerator one.
Yeah, that is not the number I got.
it's on page 12.
Okay, there we go, page 12. Oh yeah, it's right in here somewhere. Yeah, right here. I'm sorry. Here's the question. Okay, so I'm gonna, there's multiple ways to approach this problem, and I'm gonna show one way of organizing it to try to help you what's going on behind the scenes, and then Maya, I would love to hear what you did. So one way to think about this is, let's see, we've got a discount is reflected in the marked price. I'm just in case anyone's confused about that, it's like you go in to the store. I was at Meijer the other day and found some clearance Legos that was wonderful. And the sticker was, here's the original price, here's the new price.
Yeah.
Then Meijer had a sign on this area that was like 25% off the sticker price. And I got like super excited. And that the amount I was actually charged at the cash register was not, or the place, whatever, was not listed anywhere because it was 25% off whatever the clearance sticker was. So it was up to me to do the calculation to see if what they said was actually true. This is a little different in what they've done. They said, here is the clearance price. You pay $7.49. Right? This is the final price you pay at the store.
Yeah.
And then they said, we gave you a 30% discount. So start here. We know that at some point you were going to be charged 100% of the cost of this refrigerator, but we don't know that number. Then whatever the store is said, hey, we want you to buy from us. We're going to convince you to buy by giving you a 30% discount. We're going to subtract this amount from the 100%.
Yeah.
But we don't know that amount either. They didn't tell us, oh, we're going to give you a $500 savings. They just said, you're going to get 30% off. So what we do know is the new price, $749. How much of the original price does this represent?
$70.
Nailed it. So I'm going to write a sentence like he wrote in the textbook before. And the sentence would say 70% of the original cost is $749. Solve. Shouldn't be a question mark. That's a statement. So there's some ways we can think about this. One is, I think, Maya, this is what you did. Convert this to a decimal. We would have multiplied that times the price, this price. Why don't we call it X? Because we love algebra. And when we did that multiplication, we know we'd get $749. What I'm guessing, Jennifer, that you did is you took the 749 multiplied by 0.3 and then added that amount back to 749.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like a really reasonable thing to think about, because that's what you do with percentages. Take 0.3 times the amount, that's how much you saved, add it back, you should get the original. The problem is you have to do that times the original, and we didn't know it. So to get it right, we have to do this. Now, this is very algebraic-y. To get back to solve this, we have to undo, what is going on there? We have to undo the multiplication. So we divide both sides by 0.7. And that's where we got the 1070. Anyone have any comments, any questions? Anyone still confused and want more clarification? Anyone do it crazy different and got the same answer? That would be awesome to look at. If you look at this setup, that was not enough wait time, I'm sorry. And let me erase some of the mess here. If you look at this setup, I can give you this problem in bunches of different ways. I could give you the discount and the amount you saved. I could give you the original amount and the discount. I could give you, in this scenario, the sale price or the price you pay and the discount, or the amount that was the original, and ask you to find any of the other pieces. And if you can organize it and maybe think this way, you can solve it. You can solve all of the different types of ways I could ask you the question. If you think about this, this problem way back here, the lesson check problem, which we should just do together as well. Oh, I went too far. It's page 11, which is just right up from where I was at. 110% ever, blah, blah, blah. If we think about this problem, where the question was how much, essentially was how much do you save with that 20% discount? I think he pointed out somewhere in there, in the math world, when you see the English word of, that means multiply. This is not a number. You're like, what? Yeah, it's not. It's 20%. The number that is 20 divided by 100. That's what this 20% is as a number, which we most often use as 0.2, right? Convert the percent to a decimal. You can use either representation. And in this case, we gave you the total amount, we gave you the percent discount, and we're wanting to know how much do you save? So if I were to list out the things that, like I had before, we gave you this amount, and we're asking you to find this amount. We don't actually care about this amount, but we could find it. You weren't asked to find that amount. How much would you pay? It just said, what would you save? So you do 0.2 times 79, and you get 1580, right? By the way, this is the answer to the very first quiz that right now says it's due tomorrow. Lesson check 1.1. It's currently set for one attempt. I think it's probably even timed. I need to change all that. I'm sorry, the Canvas is a mess. I'm hoping to have it all cleaned up by at least this weekend, so everything is like finally clear. But for now, it says it's due on the 1st. It's really going to be due on the 4th. And you just type in 1580, and I believe you select the $, and you'll have the right answer for that lesson check. Any questions? Okay, one more little thing I want to show you. This should go in your reference sheet. This formula is going to show up 100 billion times in this class. So put this in your reference sheet. You're going to have it memorized by the end. I kind of don't like how he made it into 2 different formulas, and I'm not a big fan of all of these words. I like to just simplify it and say, let's call all of this percent change. And then let's just label it as the new number minus the old number divided by the old number. If you get a positive number, it's increase. Surprise. If you get a negative number, it's decrease. Surprise. And if you look at the formulas, they're exactly the same. There's nothing different between them. He just says if the quantity gets smaller. Talk to me, Maya.
I had a question about that, please. So for that question, I don't have my screen in front of me, sorry. So
Number
for
9,
that
right?
question, basically what I did was I just divided those numbers into each other separately. And you can see which percentage is greater. Like just a quick reference without having to do that kind of like whole formula. So for class purposes, do you want us to do the formula, or if it's just a question like which is the higher increase?
Well,
We just say this plus
I
this.
see what you're saying, right? So you did this. So you need to be careful because this calculation, which I think is what you're referring to, is a very different calculation. So let's write this out. 785 divided by 8.6. And then the next one was 11 divided by 12. And then, of course, if we wanted to convert these to a percent, you could multiply by 100. So so this goes back to Jennifer's question. Interpret the percent change in the context of the situation. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to interpret this number based on what we have. So what it would say is, without any context, this means 7.85 is 91.279% of 8.6. That's what that means.
Gotcha.
So what we could say in context is the 2019 new minimum wage. This is terrible English, by the way. Hang on. Now I'm all lost. Now I've lost myself. Okay. I think the way we want to say it is this way. The way we've calculated it. The old minimum wage is 91.279% of the 2019 minimum wage. And I believe this was from Missouri. That's what that number means. It's not a percent increase or decrease, it's a percent of.
Okay.
And then down here, we'd say the same thing. It is true, though, that we can see which one was a larger percent increase by comparing these percentages. You can also just compare. I'm going to have to be careful on that because that might not always be true. So let's go back then to the problem. That's the wrong one. Too many tabs open. Here we go. So I'm going to answer this one, the one we just did, in context. Now, I talked with the one group about the correct answers here for rounding. You're always rounding numbers, by the way, unless the result is an exact amount. So if we look at this new minus old divided by old mess, which I have right here, this is the number. Even Desmos has rounded this because this number goes on forever and ever and ever. So whenever you write down the number, if it's not like this one, 3 divided by 4, that's exactly 0.75, then you're going to be rounding. If I don't tell you what to round to, just round correctly. And what I mean by that is all 3 of these answers are 100% correct for the percent increase for Missouri. You could claim 10%. Mathematically, it is approximately 10%. You could claim 9.6%. That's mathematically true. You could claim 9.55%. In fact, you could claim, 9.554, should I do this? 140, 12739% increase. Now, we could make pretty strong arguments that past 0.55, it's like thousandths of a penny. So who cares about all that? That's why we round. Questions on this? Oh, I didn't wait long enough. So let's interpret this number in context, which is the exact question on the worksheet. And then I'll let you all try the worksheet and write your interpretation, and then we'll compare. So whenever you're asked, interpret the blank in context, there's essentially three things you need to answer in your sentence. With percent change, we often need to include the notion of when. When did this happen? What's the time frame? This isn't, sometimes problems, this doesn't make any sense. There is the change in time. It's just, there's a new number and an old number. So you don't necessarily always have to have the when, but anytime that we have a time frame, you need to include that. We need to include the what. That's the context from the problem. In this case, what has increased? It's the minimum wage. And then, of course, you need to include the thing you calculated, the how much, the number. So if you answer those three things in the one sentence, if those elements are included, you've crushed it. You've answered the problem 100%. So for this one, this 9.55 or 9.6 or 10%, if I were to answer it in context, I'd say, in this case, we don't know when $7.85 was the minimum wage, so we can't include that. But we could say in 2019, Missouri's minimum wage. Notice this is, so if I'm outlining how I'm saying things, here's the when, here's the what, and then the last thing I'm going to say is increased by, here's the how much, 9.55%. You'll do that on the midterm, you'll do that on final, you'll do that in the project. The order that you put these elements together doesn't particularly matter. You could tell me there was a 9.55% increase of Missouri's minimum wage in 2019. You know, English is a very fluid language. You can do all, or language is very fluid. You can put it together in all kinds of different orders. How picky am I in grading? Like if you didn't say Missouri, in this problem, I might count it off because you're comparing Missouri to Massachusetts. So I need to know in the sentence which number came from Missouri, which number came from Massachusetts. If there's only one thing in there, like in your worksheet, you're doing the percent change for gas prices from 2000 to 2022. Yikes, remember when it was 432? Was this the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine, or was this like a couple days after? Was it February? I can't remember. It's crazy that's still going on. You can tell when I was editing these worksheets. So you're in here, you've got two dates. You should include both of those in your when. You've got a what. Notice it's average US gas price. It's not the gas price you paid at Speedway yesterday in Jackson or wherever you get your gas. And then there should be some sort of number. So let's do 5 minutes on the clock, and you all just attempt this problem, and let's see how it goes. Set a timer for 5 minutes.